Yo, it's Jets Nation. We live here on Jets Media, and it is Victory Monday, and we're celebrating this one with Jack and Green Bean, and Ali might be joining in a couple of minutes. Everybody in the chat, welcome in. Smash that like button. We got a great stream coming your way. The fourth Victory Monday of the season that we get to celebrate. We don't get quite a lot of Victory Mondays, unfortunately, on this channel, so it feels good to finally have it. The first thing I thought of today was, all right, I'm texting Green Bean. I want to have him on the channel to celebrate this Victory Monday. It's been a while. So, Green Bean, It's great to see you. How you doing? And what are your thoughts about that game yesterday in a nutshell before we really dive deep into it?
Yeah, well, look, man, we got twice as many Victory Mondays this year than we did last year, right? We're doubling it up. I'm happy about it, man. Like I can't lie to you and tell you that I didn't catch myself rooting for the Jags to score a touchdown at the end there. I mean, I'm a tank guy for years now. It's all I know how to do. But I also have very acute awareness on how important it is for this young core to do positive things, to progress and all that. So I wanted a victory. I saw a victory. I'm very happy with how that victory took place on the shoulders of essentially Zach and Michael Carter. And I think I couldn't be in a better mood, dude. I'm really happy about it. And we're climbing out of the dark. Slowly but surely, one rung at a time, we're climbing out of the dark.
Yes, indeed. We have a lot to break down in this game, whether it's the running attack. The Jets runched for 273 yards. That's the most by any NFL team this season. How does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense to my brain, to be honest. Robert Saleh doesn't even coach. We have 20 guys out with COVID, and we defy the odds. We beat a terrible Jacksonville Jaguars team, and I had a lot of fun recapping that game, and it was just a really fun game to watch, in my opinion. So, Jack, how you feeling today, my man? And what's your overall thoughts about yesterday's win in a nutshell?
I'm feeling good, man. Like you guys said, we don't get many Victory Mondays. It's not a thing that we're too used to as Jets fans. So, a win is a win. Albeit against a really, truly just awful Jacksonville Jaguars team. If we dropped that game, man, we would have really had to look ourselves in the mirror because the Jaguars are just really, really, really bad. And we're not that far off, but clearly we are better than them. And I'm very, very excited for Zach Wilson, for him to get that win yesterday against Trevor Lawrence. Not that it's a huge deal, but of course it was a narrative in the media all week, the second pick going up against the first pick. So I'm happy for Zach that that went his way for sure. I think that's a bit of a confidence booster for Zach, maybe the confidence booster that he needs, after a really crappy overall first, rookie season. So, maybe we'll see Zach, light it up in these last two games here. Who knows? But, yeah, I'm happy for these guys. A win is a win. I'm happy for all these young players, because they deserve something, at least something good to happen to them, right? I mean, they've obviously been this team as a whole has had a roller coaster of a year, but in a game like this where they should be the winner from the first snap to the last snap, I'm just happy for all of them that they got it done. And yeah, man, Victory Monday. So,
yes, sir. Victory Monday, indeed. I'm excited for the young core. I'm happy for Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson really showed up yesterday and impressed me a ton in terms of how he played freely. He's proved to be a dual threat. Jack and I always talk to each other off air, on air about we want to see Zach use his legs. We know he has it. Why are you not scrambling? Well, that's exactly what he does yesterday. He has 91 yards on the ground, including that crazy 52-yard touchdown run. I still don't understand how that even happened. That is the longest touchdown run in franchise history for a Jets quarterback and the longest run for a quarterback since 2015. So that is crazy. Even if you consider all the mobile quarterbacks that's been in the league for a while, like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, all these guys, Zach Wilson's got wheels. And not only did he have that one rush for a great touchdown run, he had a bunch of runs. That 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter, awesome pump fake rolled out. So we're going to get into Zach Wilson. We're going to get into everything about this game. But before we hop into the details of the Jets-Jaguars game, we're going to hear from a quick word of the sponsor of Jets Media, and that's DraftKings Sportsbook. Before we go any further on today's video, I gotta give a quick shout out to the sponsor of Jets Media, DraftKings. It won't be long until you can place bets right here in New York on your favorite sports on the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. You know DraftKings by their daily fantasy contests. Well, now their expertise is gonna be in sports betting so that fans everywhere can get in on the action. DraftKings Sportsbook offers everything you would want in the sports betting app. From player props to same-game parlays, they have it all. In just a short time, you'll be able to place bets on your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home with one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can withdraw and deposit your cash whenever you want. So check out DraftKings and use my promo code to let them know that I sent you. That's promo code JETSMedia. Once again, that's promo code JETS Media. DraftKings Sportsbook, coming soon to New York State. Another shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook for sponsoring Jets Media. If you guys please can use that code and use the link down below in the description. It means a lot to the channel. Once again, shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook. So guys, let's talk about Zach Wilson, because Zach Wilson, in my opinion, had a very impressive game. Did he have, a lot of yards through the air? No, but he didn't need to, because the New York Jets rushed for 273 yards as a team. And I'll say it again. That's the most rushing yards from a team ever this season. What? How's that possible? The Colts didn't have more rushing yards with Jonathan Taylor. The Titans didn't have it when Derrick Henry was on the field. We had an amazing game from Michael Carter, his first time having over 100 yards, 118 to be exact. Tevin Coleman had a phenomenal game as well, and Zach Wilson had a great game on the ground. So my thoughts about Zach Wilson's game, in my opinion, I feel like he just played very free. I feel like this is the first time where I saw Zach Wilson looking like his BYU self, where he played with confidence. He didn't look rattled. He played with a swagger to him where he uses legs, because if you look at his BYU tape, he was a guy that was so athletic, a guy that was a dual threat. He had 10 rushing touchdowns last year at BYU, making people miss, running to the end zone. And I always wondered, why is Zach Wilson not using his legs more often? Because there's a lot of times in the earlier part of the season where there's a lot of open space where he's not really, he doesn't have the instinctual ability to step up and use his legs. And I'm wondering, why is that not happening? Why is that not translating to the NFL? Well, the reason is because early on in the season, he wasn't comfortable yet. The game was still, he was still adjusting and still figuring out himself. But now you can see that he has confidence in himself. He has confidence in the system and confidence in the NFL speed, where he has the ability now to step up, roll to his right, and take advantage of his legs, because he's athletic, guys. He's somebody that not only makes people miss behind the line of scrimmage, avoiding sacks, but he can pick up first downs with his legs. We saw that crazy touchdown run. And another big thing that Zach Wilson has been doing that a lot of people are just, not even talking about, is Zach Wilson has 0 interceptions in the last 3 games. Zach Wilson has 2 picks in the last 6 games. He had 9 picks in his first 5 games. So that's a big-time step, because we all know that Zach Wilson was a big-time turnover machine early on in the season, just throwing interceptions. He had, his first 7 games of the season, he had an interception every single one. Well, now he has not turned the ball over a lot. That's a big-time thing. And there's some people saying, well, Zach only had 102 yards passing. He had a terrible game. He didn't need to pass the ball if the run game was that dominant. He was a game manager. He did not turn over the ball. Why do you want Zach Wilson to pad his stats? This is not about stats. It's about winning the football game, becoming a game manager, and, not turning the ball over. And that's exactly what Zach Wilson did. And not to mention that touchdown pass that he had to Connor McDermott. That was a 4th and goal situation. The play broke down in front of him. Zach Wilson extends the play, rolls to his right. He sees a big man in the back of the end zone. Zach Wilson trusts the big man, throws it up. He goes up there, makes the grab. That was a great play from the quarterback on 4th and goal, because if we did not get that touchdown, I don't know if you win the game, because that was a big-time play. So I'm very impressed with Zach Wilson. It wasn't his best game of the season, but I feel like that is a good sign that Zach Wilson is playing free. He's playing with confidence, and he's not turning the ball over. So I'll pass it over to Green Bean. What was your impressions of Zach Wilson's play yesterday and his progression so far this season overall?
Well, look, you said a lot of really, really important points, right? 9 interceptions the first 5 games, 2 in the last 6. He's got basically, when you look at it, he's got 11 interceptions and 11 touchdowns on the year. Now, 4 of those touchdowns are on the ground, and people like to differentiate between the two and say one's more important than the other. I disagree. I've always disagreed with that point. And Zach has 11 and 11, and the progress is undeniable. Now, it's a funny thing. Somebody was just mentioning it in the chat. Like, there's always a negative take. You can look at this any way that you want. You can look at Zach's run yesterday and you can say, see, we had to score points with Zach scrambling for his life. The truth is Zach has shown elite escapability this year. It started with week 1. In the first 3 weeks, he had 15 sacks, more hurries, more pressures, more quarterback hits than any quarterback in the league. And since then, he has been showing an elite potential to get out of situations like that. The difference that we saw yesterday is Zach has been getting more and more comfortable. He decided, you know what? I don't have to go out of bounds here. He fooled the linebacker into thinking he was going out. He stutter-stepped, took off down the sideline, and he earned that damn touchdown. And that's the stuff that Zach Wilson brings to the table, man. Like, and it's funny, you talk about the pass to Connor McDermott. Like, people said to me, literally more than one actually wrote to me and said, look at that BS, how we had to score. Now, when that's done to us, you know what it said, Richie? Look how creative their offensive coordinator is. Now, our offensive coordinator makes a big ugly eligible, and we throw him the pass for a touchdown in the end zone, and people get mad about it. So I don't understand. And the thing is this, when you're looking at a season like this, all we really wanted to see was progression from the young core. We've seen it with Zach. We saw it with Michael Carter, who I'm sure we'll get to. You saw it with AVT. You saw it with Elijah Moore, Brandon Eccles, Michael Carter II, even Pinnock yesterday. The young guys are maturing. They're coming to play, and they believe in each other. And that's why it's so valuable to watch what we watched yesterday. And I'm still buzzing off of it, man. I love what we saw.
I agree with pretty much everything you said, Green Bean. Absolutely great take there. So, Jack, what was your impressions of Zach Wilson's play yesterday? I think we can all agree it was a breakout performance in terms of his rushing ability. So what was your thoughts about Zach's performance yesterday to lead the Jets to the dub?
Yeah, I thought it was, just refreshing to watch. Obviously, the numbers through the air don't, jump off the page at you. But as you guys both mentioned, that's not what it's about at the end of the day. Obviously, we'd love to see, a 350-yard, 4-touchdown performance from Zach Wilson. But, the fact of the matter is that we won a football game yesterday. And I love the point that Green Bean just made, because sometimes I tell myself, to reel it back in a little bit and make myself remember that, okay, this year was supposed to be about development. We were not supposed to win a bunch of games. As upsetting as it is to be here, a 4-win team, we got to remember what this year was going to be about. So just to see improvement from Zach over, the course of a few games now, not just yesterday's game, it's very good to see, man. And obviously, what me and Richie have been, and I'm sure everybody else, but me and Richie in particular have been, saying this to each other for a while now. Zach needs to use his, athletic abilities more, and, use his legs to gain positive yards wherever he can for this team. And what did we see yesterday? An explosion, on the ground from Zach Wilson. Obviously, we had the 52-yard burst, but 91 total yards on the ground. So if you do the math, he ran for it 4 times. So that's an average of 13 yards per attempt for the other 3 rushing attempts, minus the 52-yard run. So, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see from Zach Wilson, man. I mean, gaining positive yards when he can. As Green Bean mentioned, his escapability is borderline elite, honestly. You don't see that ability from many quarterbacks in the league. He kind of has, that natural pocket awareness. And obviously he has his blunders here and there. Thinking back to last week where he put that ball on the ground and it didn't go our way. But, that's all. It's all growing pains that Zach Wilson's going to have. And just to see him improve and win a game is a wonderful thing, man. So I'm happy going into these last 2 games. I'm hoping to see more improvement from Zach. As I said earlier in the stream, I think the fact that this was, the number 2 going up against the number 1 in terms of, draft picks this last year, I think that this is a nice little confidence booster for Zach. Obviously, we don't have that much time left in the season, but I would love to see a strong finish from this Jets team. One thing I will say is screw a draft pick, man. Screw a draft pick. I'm so not ready for the draft talk. I will not be rooting for the Jets to lose these last 2 games. Not even one single ounce of my being will be rooting for this Jets team to lose over the next 2 weeks. So I want to see another awesome performance from Zach Wilson next
Tom
week
Brady.
and the week after that. And, it's going to be tough. As Richie just said, we got Tom Brady on the docket. But, that doesn't mean that Zach can't have a good performance for himself. It would be a miracle if we won the game, but I'd love to see Zach go out there and kill it, man. I mean, one thing I will say about this Jets team this year is it looks like they're at least attempting to get it right with Zach Wilson. With Sam Darnold, it looked like the attempt wasn't even there to surround him with talent, to give him any sort of, coaching staff that has sort of respectability at all. It felt like Sam Darnold was just thrown into the wolf den, and said, hey, you got to go fix this team pretty much by yourself. With Zach Wilson, I mean, he's got help, man. He's got Michael Carter who can put up, his first 100-plus yard performance. And then Tevin Coleman gets himself 57 yards on the ground, I think it was as well. So Zach Wilson's 91 yards on the ground aside, we would have still had a pretty badass day on the ground yesterday for sure. So just the fact that we are – it looks like there's a clear effort to surround Zach Wilson with other talented players so that it doesn't all fall on this young dude's shoulders. I love that. And, we're not winning a bunch of games this year, but I think as an organization, we're heading in the right direction because we can't forget that, this coaching staff is developing right alongside with these players as they're all in their first year in their respective roles. So I think the organization is headed in a good way for sure.
Great take there. I agree. Shout out to Ali, who's not able to make it today. He's not feeling a little under the weather. So, Ali, we miss you, man, and get well soon, man. Jack, I agree with everything you said. I feel like Zach Wilson has proved that, he finally uses legs. And I don't know if you saw what I sent you on Twitter, Jack, but this is the proof of good coaching. Mike LaFleur said to Zach Wilson exactly what Jack and I have been always talking about, that, hey, Zach Wilson, here's examples on tape where you could have used your legs here. You should have stepped up. You should have picked up the first down with your legs. There's a wide open lane for you to use your legs. And Mike LaFleur challenged Zach Wilson saying, hey, use your legs. You are a mobile quarterback. You are an athletic quarterback. You did it at BYU. You did it in high school. You can do it at this level. And what happens when the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets challenges the rookie quarterback saying, use your legs, bro. You have the ability. He goes out there and goes 91 yards on the ground and a 52-yard touchdown. That is coaching. That's awesome. Right. That's like, hello, coaching is a big deal. And we have an offensive coordinator that's actually doing the job properly. So Mike LaFleur deserves a ton of credit for Zach Wilson to finally unleash his abilities on the ground, because I feel like that's stuff that happens, behind the scenes that we don't get to see. Mike LaFleur talked about it. We see it come to fruition. So shout out to the coaching staff, and a quick shout out to Ron Middleton for stepping in for Robert Saleh, because we have to talk about the circumstances that we just had yesterday. We're down our head coach, and we have 20 players on the COVID list. Zach Wilson does not have his top 3 wide receivers. We're without Elijah Vera Tucker and LDT. Dan Feeney's our left guard. And we still run for 273 yards. So the odds were not in our favor. And Zach Wilson and the offense had an historical day on the ground, despite all the injuries and the COVID issues to the offense. So that is a great, great sign for the progression. And that this Jets team really played for Robert Saleh in this one, because that was a motive in the locker room that their head coach is not there. So let's play for Rob. And you saw that in the locker room yesterday. Robert Saleh was on Zoom in the TV, and he was giving a speech that was pretty crazy.
That was great. That was awesome.
That really was awesome. It brought a little – I was getting emotional. I was like, oh, it's so sick to Saleh there. Yeah, everyone's cheering. It's like this world is crazy, COVID's nuts. But, I just felt like that was awesome. So moving off the Zach Wilson topic, I just want to play a quick video of my reaction to it. If you guys did not see it, it's pretty funny. And then we'll get into Michael Carter. Oh, all-out blitz incoming. Zach Wilson's got to get rid of it. Zach escapes pressure. Zach tucks in and runs. Zach Wilson's loose. Zach Wilson's running. He's got all day. He stays in bounds. Zach Wilson cuts it. Zach Wilson gets in the end zone for the touchdown. What a run from the rookie. Zach Wilson takes it 50 yards to the house. Oh, my goodness. That was insane. The athleticism is on display. And Zach Wilson just did the impossible. I started Zach Wilson in fantasy.
That's huge.
That is so big. That is so big. I've been begging Jack and all my Jet subscribers to let Zach Wilson run the ball. He's an athlete.
That was awesome. That was fantastic. Dude, you could see, you heard the second when it got real. Like you're doing the play-by-play and you're like, holy shit, this is happening. You know, it's like, that was so good. I love it.
Thank you. I was losing my mind. I thought he was going out of bounds. And you see him tiptoe and it was like, what? And he makes someone miss. It was just.
That's right. Well, if you see the first tackler, he makes him think he's going to go out. He does that stutter step and the guy stops. And he takes off, and then he flat out jukes the last guy. Dude, that run is nothing short of brilliant. It started from the pocket collapse. It's exceptional, man. It really is.
I'm at a loss for words. I really am.
So good.
Jack, what's your overall thoughts about that? Just one play in particular.
It was crazy, man. I really couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching it live. I was sitting next to my father, and we were watching the game together, and we were just both going nuts. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. It didn't feel real, and then all of a sudden we were attempting the PAT. I'm like, wow, that really just happened.
Yeah, in my eyes, I'm like, it's too good to be true. We stepped out of bounds. Like, you had to be out of bounds. Like, there's no way. And it all happened.
Because I'm like, like stuff like that doesn't happen to us, you know? Like, we can't get a play like that. That's not gonna stand. And then all of a sudden, there comes Pinero.
Appreciate the don't know. I know my logic ain't solid, and I get why people are hoping for an L, but I'll say it because I can. It's ironic to complain about losing draft position in a game where number 2 quarterback beats a number 1 pick QB. I agree, nose kills. That's why, my whole take on rooting for losses for the tank, it's totally out of our control. Like, whatever happens on the field is out of our control. So you might as well root for a win. And if they win, cool. Like, you don't want this team to go out there and lose on purpose. You want them to have a winning mentality. And number 2 overall pick beat the number 1 overall pick. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson's better. So it was just a great game. It was just a great game to be a part of. And the Jets get the dub. So moving on from Zach Wilson, there's one player that we did not bring up yet. And that's Braxton Honeynut Berrios, who deserves to be extended as soon as possible. This man is probably one of my favorite players on the whole team. He stepped up every single time. I saw an interesting tweet from Connor Hughes of the history of Braxton Berrios and how he became a Jet. So as we know, guys, Braxton Berrios was drafted from the New England Patriots. And what happened was the reason why the Patriots moved on from Braxton is because Braxton had a hamstring injury during the cuts in August. And they needed to have 6 healthy receivers going into the season. So unfortunately for the Patriots, they had to cut Braxton Berrios, and they're really hoping that they can sign him to the practice squad. But no. Joe Douglas saw him on the waiver wire, and Joe Douglas brought him in on the waiver. Bill Belichick was really upset that he went to the Jets. Belichick called the Jets and called Adam Gase at the time and said, you got a really good one in Braxton Berrios. And now here we are. He's been on the team for 3 years. Every time James Crowder was down, Braxton Berrios stepped up in the slot and played phenomenal football for a wide receiver. And then now he's becoming a phenomenal kick returner, punt returner, and he was the number 1 receiver yesterday. I mean, he was doing everything for the Jets yesterday. So Braxton Berrios deserved to be a Pro Bowl starter instead of a Pro Bowl alternate. He's a Swiss Army knife. Unfortunately, he is a free agent, so I'm going to be really nervous if we do not re-sign him. So he's got to be the guy, the priority, because he's awesome. So, Green Bean, what's your thoughts about Braxton Berrios and what he's been bringing to this Jets teams, both special teams, offensively, and just that energy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic. And you saw in that clip with Saleh on the closed circuit television in the locker room, he said, what about Braxton? And the place went nuts. So he's also a team favorite in addition to being incredibly valuable on special teams and really a jack of all trades. For the offense too. He can rush, he can do the jet sweeps, he can, look, the thing with him is that you can trust him to catch the ball 9 times out of 10. And that's one of the most important things for wide receivers. Guys with hands that are sure-handed, you're willing to take away some of the concern about crisp route running and height or speed or all those things. They all get pushed aside when you know that 99 chances out of 100, he's going to actually catch the ball. And that's Braxton Berrios, man. I would really love to see him locked up before he hits free agency, because if he does, in my opinion, we're going to have to overpay to keep him. He has expressed, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, he would love to be a Jet. He said he likes it here. He loves the fans. He loves the whole thing, and he wants to stay here. But as we know, money talks. And I just hope Joe Douglas just shells it out, just gives him what he's owed. He has numerous positions on the team, And I'd like to see him stay here because, man, I'm tired of losing those finds. You know, those guys that you find on the scrap heap. I like it when they work out. And we haven't seen all that much of that lately. So I think signing Braxton Berrios should be one of the priorities this offseason.
Yeah, man, he's all heart too. That's another reason why I love him. Every time his name is called, he shows up big time. So, Jack, what's your thoughts about Braxton? We saw him finally take one to the house from kickoff return, and he stepped up and had multiple fourth down conversions, third down conversions, looking like a mini Wayne Corbett out there. What's your thoughts about Braxton?
Yeah, man. I love Braxton Berrios, man. Braxton's an absolute dog. I think he's a great, culture guy for this Jets team. I definitely agree with you guys. I think we should certainly lock him up. Especially being that he expressed interest to remain a Jet, I think that, should certainly be the green light for Joe Douglas to go, okay, Braxton Berrios is a dog. He's, an absolute Swiss Army knife, chess piece, whatever you want to call him. He's just that guy that can go out there and do it all. I mean, his abilities as a returner now are absolutely unquestionable. He's a top guy at that position in the league for sure, without a doubt. And then it always seems that, wherever we plug him in on the field, whether it's, giving him a little, toss, touch pass rather, out of the backfield, or whether him just, running routes out of the slot. I just always feel like we get something productive out of Braxton Berrios, like he's just always that guy that I feel comfortable with the ball in his hands. Like I feel like he's going to make something out of nothing, a vast majority of the time. And he's just that type of player that, you have confidence in. I mean, he's not always been that guy, but, he's absolutely showed us this year that he can be a difference maker for this team, as we most likely wave goodbye to Jamison Crowder this year. I would be very, very surprised if Braxton Berrios wasn't a part of this Jets future. Maybe even more so in the receiving game than we see him now, man, because he has really proved himself to be a valuable player and a versatile player, which is extremely important in today's NFL. So I'm team Braxton Berrios for sure.
Devin with the $2 dono. Berrios equals Corbett. What a find. Yeah, man. Extend this man. Fun fact about Braxton as well. He's a valedictorian in Miami. So he's a very intelligent guy. So make him a Jet for life. Okay? Make him a Jet for life. So another player that I want to talk about is the rookie running back and Michael Carter. And we got to throw in Tevin Coleman as well because he's been doing a phenomenal job, doing everything you want from a veteran running back in the system. But Michael Carter getting his first 100-yard game of his career. He's just a guy that you plug him in, and no matter what time you give him the ball and there's two people in the backfield, it seems like he makes somebody miss every single time. He has a lot of broken tackles, his patience, his footwork, his IQ, everything about him just looks like an all-around great running back. And I think that we truly found our number one running back. I've been waiting so long for the Jets to draft a running back late in the draft where I can say with confidence, wow, I think that he's going to be somebody that's going to be around for a long time and I can draft in fantasy with confidence and is going to be a productive guy. So, Green Bean, what's your thoughts about Michael Carter? And do you think that he's going to be, that number one running back for the Jets for the future? I know that this is going to be, running back by committee approach for a while in this system. We're going to be splitting carries with whoever our number two running back is. But I feel like Michael Carter can handle at least 20 to 25 carries a game in the future because his talent is undeniable.
Yeah. Well, I love Michael Carter. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of running back by committee. I love change of pace and I love having more than one back carry the ball during the game, but I don't like that equal approach. I'm a big believer that running backs get better as they develop a rhythm in a game. They need to feel the blocks. They need to feel how the defense is responding. And the more times they get their hands on the ball, the better they become. The best running backs get better as the game goes on. And I believe this was the game with the most carries for Michael Carter. If I remember correctly, it's 16. And we saw, rather than the week before, he had 6 or 7, whatever it was. And he's limited in that capacity. So I'm hoping that we see Michael Carter continue to get the lion's share of the carries. If you want to have somebody else carry 7, 8 times, whatever it is, that's fine. And you can even have 2 different backs doing that. But I'd like to see Michael Carter get the opportunity to be the feature back, for lack of a better term, because I think he's got the skills, man. And you know what I really like about Michael Carter? And this goes it's really a credit to Joe Douglas and what he's trying to do here. But Michael Carter is an infectious personality. No pun, no COVID pun intended. Yeah. But he has this very contagious, there it is again, this personality that's very magnetic. He goes around to different players on the team, pumping them up. You remember, he pumped up Mike White. He's pumped up Zach Wilson. He goes over to the defense, talking to Michael Carter II. Remember when he got the draft call that went viral, when he jumped up, said, yeah, his brother chest bumped him and he fell on the floor and laughed. Like, he's got that very, very positive, upbeat personality. He's known as a blue-collar, hardworking, nose-to-the-grindstone guy. And that's the types of guys you want around. So when the bad stuff is going on, this year has been rough, man. Guys like Michael Carter are part of the reason why this team stayed together. And again, I'd like to see him be able to earn that spot to get the lion's share of the carries. I'd love to see Michael Carter get 20 carries a game. I think it would be amazing, and I think that he's got the body to withstand it as well. That said, I'm still hoping we bring in young legs almost every year in the 4th to 6th round. I'd like to see that as well. But Michael Carter, super stud.
I agree. I think Joe Douglas will draft a running back and a receiver every single draft until he's no longer the Jets GM, because that'll be very smart, getting fresh legs in the playmaker spot, whether it's early in the draft or late in the draft. Guys, if you think Michael Carter is the man, please hit that like button for your boy. We got 27 likes with 81 of you guys watching. Let's get this to 50-plus likes. If you guys feel like Michael Carter is a stud, hit that thumbs up button for your boy. Greatly appreciate that. Let's see if we can get this to 50 likes and show Michael Carter some love. And I also love that you brought up, Green Bean, the personality and the leadership qualities of Michael Carter. I think that's one of the most impressive parts to his game, because Joe Douglas is trying to build a culture here. And obviously you want talented players on the field, but what builds a true culture is getting guys with good head on their shoulders like Michael Carter. If you watch his interviews and you really, if you watch the One Jets Drive when he's featured and you get to learn him as a person, his values in life and what he really wants to become and his vision with himself and his teammates around him, he is a different type of player. He's a leader on the field. He was hyping up Michael Carter II, saying, hey, why can't you be the best? Why can't you could be the greatest of all time? Like, you just got to put your mind to it. Like, he truly is a leader. And I feel like that's my favorite part about Michael Carter, to be honest, is his personality, his leadership qualities. That's a very underrated part to his game. And I feel like that's something that the Jets have lacked for a long time, is a guy that you draft and he has that leadership culture qualities that you want to build for the future. So, Jack, what's your thoughts about Michael Carter? I know you're a huge Carter fan as well. So what was your thoughts about him this whole season and his game overall yesterday?
Yeah, man. Great to see Michael Carter put in the work. Obviously his first 100+ yard performance on the ground. I got nothing but good things to say about Michael Carter, man. My opinions on him hasn't really changed at all much this year, man. I think he's really come into his own. And, although, the carries are still split pretty evenly, it seems, at least yesterday they were. Michael Carter has what it takes to be the feature back, as Green Bean put it earlier. I think that's something that clearly the Jets have been lacking for quite a while now. Obviously, the Le'Veon Bell experiment never really came to fruition. Thank you, Mike Cagnon, for that giant waste of time and waste of money. Yeah. I think he was getting like close to $2 million a game or something like that. Good Ridiculous. But yeah, man. So at least that's in the past, and we got Michael Carter, and his leadership qualities, as you guys just put it. You can't overstate the importance of that as well, especially coming from a rookie, and especially on a team like this that needs those type of players. So nothing but good things to say about Michael Carter, man. And I really like him to be the feature back for this running back room for hopefully many, many healthy years to come, because he really does have what it takes, man. He always seems to make the first man miss. It's very, very, very rare to see him get tackled behind the line of scrimmage or even at the line of scrimmage, man. He always seems to get at least like 3, 4, 5 yards every time the ball's in his hands. So, and then we saw yesterday that he can just break one at any given time as well. So kudos to Michael Carter, man. I think we definitely got one there. And, the 2020 draft class, not looking too hot, but the 2021 draft class is looking like a stellar draft, man. So yeah, loving Michael Carter. Excited to see more of Michael Carter in his last 2 games.
Yeah, man. I think you put in a great point, man. The Michael Carter situation, the 2021 draft class has been killing it. And that pivots to my next topic, which is the defense. And we had two safeties, emergency safeties. We had Jason Pinnock, our rookie cornerback, moved to safety, and he had his best game of the season. I mean, Jason Pinnock hasn't looked good this year whenever he does get the opportunity, but he puts on the double bands, goes to the safety position, and all of a sudden, Jason Pinnock, we might have to have a conversation. Is he a safety or a corner? Because he looked damn good, and so did Parks. Whoever Parks is, I don't know where we got him from, but he actually was all over the place. Jason Pinnock graded out as an 80 grade on PFF. He was all over the place. He was great in the run game. Jason Pinnock, I think that if we continue to have problems at the safety position in terms of injury, like say Ashton Davis still is on COVID protocol next week and Elijah Riley is not ready to go, I would give Jason Pinnock another opportunity to step in because he's a rookie. We all know that Brendan Eccles is coming off Rookie of the Week. We know that we found a star. I wouldn't say star in Brendan Eccles, but a quality player in Brendan Eccles. We know that Michael Carter II is another guy in the secondary that we can say with confidence. Unfortunately, he did not play yesterday due to COVID. But if you can, talk about the defensive draft, we got obviously the first 4 picks were all offense. The last 6 picks were defense. Michael Carter II looks like a really good pick. Brendan Eccles looks like a really good pick. Unfortunately, Jamie and Sherwood went down for the season. Hamza Nasruddin is not really getting a lot of time. He's more of a special teams guy. And Jonathan Marshall, he showed a big flash last week when he stepped in and had a really big-time disruptive play. He's not going to get a lot of playing time this year. But I feel like the back end of this draft is playing well, especially the secondary, because the secondary has been a revelation, and I feel like Brendan Eccles, Michael Carter II, and if Pinnock can play safety and play at this caliber, hey, why not? Why not let it fly, baby? I love it. So let's talk about the defense. I think a really big underrated part about this defense has been C.J. Mosley this year. He has 142 total tackles. That's a career high. He's all over the place. Unfortunately for him, he missed that interception, and he held himself accountable. If you guys watch, the Jets posted a video of all the players saying, let's go Jets. And he was like saying, I'm sorry, guys. I'm embarrassed. That should have been an interception at the end of the game. But CJ was all over the place yesterday. He had that crazy forced fumble sack. He's just everywhere. And obviously the defense is not perfect by any means. They were letting Trevor Lawrence just, dissect his defense, to be honest, yesterday. We stopped the run because, James Robinson went down with an Achilles, and we did that at a great job. And usually this Jets defense is not good at stopping the run. But what this Jets defense did a good job at is situational football. They stopped it when it mattered the most. CJ was everywhere. And, I feel like the offense really won us this game better than the defense. But, I just want to talk about the defense as a whole. And the defense was decimated with injuries and COVID. The emergency safeties, we're without Quinnen Williams, Foley Fatukasi, John Franklin Myers. We're without all of our key guys. So, Green Bean, what's your thoughts about the defensive performance yesterday, especially Jason Pinnock and all the emergency safeties?
Yeah. Well, I think the whole CJ Mosley thing, it's like, he's basically the only linebacker doing anything. Quincy Williams has had his flashes, but in my opinion, he looks like either a developmental guy or somebody that's going to have more of an impact as a rotational player. So CJ Mosley has been running around. He's had a couple, off games, but for the most part, he's earned his money. He's pretty much the only guy out there that's relatively consistent, and he's sideline to sideline. Now, I would have really loved if we ended that game with him actually holding on to that interception. That would have been a nice way to slam it home rather than giving them that one more shot, 4th and goal, and all that stress and everything. But overall, man, I think the defense needs a lot of work. Like, I'm in a conversation in the chat with somebody who wants wide receiver in the first round, and while I get it, I think that if we've learned anything this season, it's that our defense, which has not received any of the premium draft capital since Joe Douglas has been here, needs some. They need some blue chippers, whether it's edge, linebacker. We need maybe a cornerback opposite Bryce Hall to push Eccles to the nickel and dime package with Michael Carter II. However we do it, but we need some of that stuff, in my opinion. So CJ Mosley's not the only guy worth a shit out there running around with a bunch of guys that are more than likely are going to be rotational or developmental for the next year or two. So I think that the defense plays hard. I don't think that the schemes that we utilize are really helping them to acquire solid numbers. We do a lot of schemes to protect the deep ball, the safeties. I mean, we've been decimated by injuries at the safety position, and a lot of what we do, a lot of the loose zones that we call are in an attempt to kind of protect that back end of the field. We're willing to give that, those shorter routes because we don't want them to go over top. And if you look at us this year, I mean, we've given away very few like true bombs over the top of our defense. We're doing that bend, don't break kind of thing, which I think for this year, it might end up being smart. It's aggravating to watch. I hate watching it. I hate giving up screens and tight end quick slants over the middle. I hate it all. But I think in large part our defense comes to play. But this was one more game where we saw, like, we need some blue chip talent in there. Like, we need to use first, second round picks on guys that are going to bring, immediate impact to the defense so they can start to be on par with the developing offensive people that we have. So, yeah, man, I think Pinnock, hey, I'd love to see him just stay at safety because I didn't like the pick in the first place. I didn't like him as a prospect all that much. And he struggled at cornerback. So I'd like to see him kind of land as a safety. He had that forced fumble. He had a couple real nice tackles. Like, he looks like he might perform better in that role. He is 6 foot. I think he's like 210. So he's not a small guy. He's got the safety size. So I would like to see him, like you said before, like, hey, man, we got 2 games left. We got guys coming off the street in Morristown playing safety for us. Just put Pinnock in there, let him wrap up the season and see what he does. Maybe he's carved out a role for himself and we could count him as part of the starting defensive backfield when next year begins, or at least to compete for one of those starting spots. I'd like to see that. Yeah,
I agree, man. I think that the Pinnock has shown something in one game. Obviously, it's, very small sample size, but I'd love to see him get some more run there. And, the Jets defense, it drives me crazy, not going to lie. I mean, obviously, there's so many people out. So many people out with injuries and stuff, but it just felt like, especially in that first half, we were in a time loop. And what I mean by that, every single possession was the same. And if you guys remember, the Jaguars dominated the time of possession in the first half. And the reason was first down for the Jaguars, 4-yard rush. It's going to be 2nd and 6. And the next one, it might be an incomplete pass, and it brings up like 3rd and 5. And then it always gets the 3rd down, and we can never get the stop on 3rd down. It's always a quick slant over the middle, a crossing route over the middle, and we're just vulnerable over the middle, 1st down. And then the same thing happens. 1st down run, 2nd down, it's 3rd and short, they pick it up, and it just eats the clock away, and they just methodically go down the field, and Green Bay put it perfectly. The Jets are really, okay with giving up the underneath stuff to prevent the over-the-top stuff to protect the secondary, but it is frustrating because I feel like we are very bad on 3rd down, and that's really concerning when it comes to the future of this team. And we also just could not get pressure on Trevor Lawrence consistently, which is why he had a lot of time to really for the receivers to get open down the field. And obviously, the injuries are a big factor, but we did not have all of our top guys at all on the defensive front, so it's really hard to blame them. But throughout the entire season, it was a problem. So, Jack, what's your thoughts about this defense yesterday? I also want another quick point. I think that the Jets should go all in on defense in the draft this year up top. I think that we need blue chip playmakers. We need ball hawks. We need an edge. We need guys. We went all offensive in the first couple picks last year in the draft. First 4 picks were offense. I'm down for it to be the same way for defense. I don't think we have to go all 4 of the picks need to go defense, but I think that we need to get guys in the secondary, guys up front, to really, build this core because we got a foundation built on offense. It's time to get that foundation built on defense so we can really, get this ship sailing in the right direction. So, Jack, what's your overall thoughts about this defense yesterday and overall?
Yeah, I mean, this defense is just an extremely frustrating topic for me, man. I mean, I've said this for a couple weeks now. But, while I don't think we should be, a top 10 defense by any means, I strongly stand by the statement that I think we're way too talented on defense to be as bad as we have been this year. And it's just extremely frustrating. I know a lot of these guys, most of these guys are, very young, inexperienced players, but guys like, Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles, Michael Carter II, I'll throw Quincy Williams in there, Quinnen, guys like this they look like Quinnen's already a proven, I'm not going to call him a star player, but, the numbers are there for Quinnen. Quinnen is definitely a beast. He's definitely, I don't know if I'm going to call him elite. Yeah, screw it. I can say whatever the hell I want. Quinnen Williams is elite. I'm saying that right now. This is my life.
Yeah.
Come at me in the chat if you want. Quinnen Williams is elite. But
Right.
yeah. But it just goes down to the fact that, we should not be this bad with the caliber of players that we do have on this defense. So, I guess I'm pointing the finger big time at Robert Saleh, at Jeff Ulbrich for sure. Obviously, yesterday is a tough game to gauge, although we did win. I mean, we were out so many players. We had players out there starting for us that we've never heard of in our lives. And, the fact of the matter is that we were also going against an abysmal offense in the Jacksonville Jaguars. And their best offensive player in James Robinson happened to tear his Achilles as soon as the game started. So, things were definitely working in our favor from the get-go yesterday, I would say. But, I can't write that off as a bad performance from the defense yesterday. But Rich, I'll piggyback off of what you said. The performances on third down have been pretty much disgraceful all year. This defense cannot find a way to get off the field. And then it's extremely frustrating because we can't expect our offense to be clicking at all times with, a rookie quarterback at the helm. So, it's frustrating when we give away, an 8-minute possession and then we come back and it's just the quickest 3 and out of all time. And then our defense is right back out on the field. Because like I said, you can't expect the offense to be playing perfect football all the time. So when those 3 and outs do come on the back end of a horribly long defensive possession that ended up in points scored for the other team, that's just a recipe to lose every game, which, we've lost the vast majority of our games this year playing exactly how I just described. So this defense definitely needs to figure something out for the future, man. I'm in with you, Rich. I'm all in on, heavy defense in the draft this year because I like the way you put it, man. This young offensive core is kind of established. And now we need to go ahead and do it on the other side of the ball. So I don't know who it's going to be, what position it's going to be. But, Joe Douglas needs to realize that, okay, this defense is 32nd in the league, which is completely and utterly unacceptable. I mean, I don't care how bad we are. The New York Jets, I mean, our pride has always been in our defense, right? Oh, well, at least we'll be able to stop the run. Nobody can run on us. Anybody with even a semi-competent offensive line has been able to run the ball down our throats this year, which is just an absolute killer when we're finding ourselves in, positions where we have to defend, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. And then that's, an offensive coordinator's dream. Any play in the playbook is available when with a 2nd and short. So, we're just putting ourselves in positions to lose all year. And I think it also comes down to the fact that, Carl Lawson, we didn't get to see out there this year. And let's all go back to what we said before this year began. This defense starts with the pass rush, with getting to the quarterback. We were all saying, hey, our cornerbacks are not going to be that great. How ironic that here we are with our cornerbacks, being the best group on the team. Meanwhile, our defensive front has been kind of what's screwing us all year. But we all said, hey, this defense starts up front. If we can get to the quarterback, we'll be good because it'll be tough for them to get the ball out and they won't expose our inexperienced, secondary as much as they could. Here we are, 2 games left in the season. The pass rush has pretty much been, I don't want to say non-existent, but there's been no consistency to it whatsoever. It's either a good game or it looks like these guys didn't even show up to play that day. And that can't happen, man. Like I said at the beginning of this little spiel I'm on, these guys are too talented to let that happen all the time. So the inconsistency, I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to be fixed. Obviously, the draft is number one, how you assess, all your areas of need. So Joe Douglas has, his work cut out for him this offseason, man. So, once again, I will thank the Seattle Seahawks and Jamal Adams for putting us in another beautiful position for the draft this year, where we can hopefully go out there and get a couple starters on defense because we definitely need them, man.
Yeah, man, very well said about this defense. There's a lot of issues that need to be fixed, and that goes right into the super chat from Jim. I appreciate the donation, my man. Joe Douglas needs props, front office reorganized, dream coach landed, quarterback drafted, well-positioned in coming offseason. I agree, Jim. I think that this offseason for the Jets, you cannot be more excited about what is presented ourselves. This is the most draft capital we've ever had, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, cap space galore. So, Green Bean, what's your thoughts about the position of this Jets team going into the offseason, and what do you think the priority should be in terms of free agency and the draft, just in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big Joe Douglas supporter. Clearly, I've been doing this a little while, and I've seen bad GM after bad GM try to take Band-Aids and stick it all over our chopped off limbs and all that stuff. Flashy signings like Jack mentioned earlier, the Le'Veon Bells, and just on and on and on. Tremaine Johnson, let me just say, a lot of fans knew that one player, it's not going to fix it. McCagnon drafted 2 offensive linemen in 5 drafts. 2 for a position that has 5 players. He only drafted 2 in 5 years. So when you look at this team, what Joe Douglas has done, getting back to getting to that question of the super chat there, dude, I think Joe Douglas having the balls to actually focus on tearing this down to the studs and just weathering the onslaught of fans saying, you suck, we only have 5 wins in 3 years, whatever it is. And he just knows what needs to be done. And then you look at where we really are. We have a lot of these areas kind of addressed. We can start to move over from the offense and move over to the defense and start to place well-chosen and well-placed blue chip guys. In my opinion, I agree with you. It's like this is a very strong defense draft on the top end, the edges. Obviously, there's a generational safety, and there's a couple more behind him, Jordan Battle. There's a few linebackers that would be amazing gets for us, and we need them. So using that premium capital to get where the draft just happens to be strong in, I think makes a ton of sense. I would love best case scenario would be an Aiden Hutchinson, Kyle Hamilton first round. You get a linebacker and a tight end or a center or whatever in the second round and go from there. But yeah, man, I think the defense needs help, but I think what Joe Douglas is doing is a slow, systematic approach, and I absolutely love it. I've been calling for this since 2011, man. I was saying the team needs to be torn down. This bull crap where we just keep stacking, we keep roofing a crooked house that has no foundation. It's like we keep buying roofing tiles, and it doesn't work. So I like, having the gumption to do that, and I think he does need a lot of credit. Now, there's a lot of work to do. Just like with Zach, we're seeing development. It doesn't mean he's a franchise quarterback. It just means that we're seeing the development that we hoped to see. So it's good. It's good news. I'm happy with the direction. I'm happy with the players that we did choose. We turned a whiny crybaby that doesn't change the game in Jamal Adams. We already made him AVT, and it looks like we're going to have a top 10, maybe even a top 5 pick for him, which is unbelievable. We took Sam Darnold and flipped him into 3 picks. One of those is going to be a top 5 second round pick. So I think the way we're going about it is very, very healthy, very systematic. And I'm a big, big fan, man. And I'm excited for this offseason. I think it's going to be a pivotal one for us.
Yeah, man, very well said. I feel like the unfortunate reality for the New York Jets is that the only way we can get back on track and becoming a sustainable franchise that's successful year in and year out is ripping this thing to shreds and building it from the ground up. And that's exactly what Joe Douglas is doing. And the unfortunate reality of that is you're going to have seasons of disaster, and we're in the middle of another one in terms of win-losses. And listen, Jack said it as well. We have to remember that this season was never about going to the playoffs. It was never about winning a bunch of games and going to the wild card or whatever it might be. It's about the development of the young core. It's about the development of the coaching staff, and we're seeing it. Yeah, we only have 4 wins of the season, and we've been decimated with injuries, but this team has been showing heart all year long. They're showing that they're in a lot of games, and we have a serious foundation built on offense. Now it's time to get that serious foundation built on defense, because unfortunately there are some pieces, but there's not enough pieces if we want to become a serious team. And obviously, to the judge Joe Douglas right now, he does not have a good record. And I think this offseason is going to be pivotal. I think last offseason was pivotal. I think he did a great job in the draft. The free agency wasn't as great. Obviously, Carl Lawson, we don't know if he's going to be a superstar or not like we hopeful because of the injury. Corey Davis had a great start to the year, started being underwhelming, and now he's out for this season. Joe Douglas has proved to be not that great in free agency. He's proved to be good in the draft and great in the waiver wire claim and really, really good at trading players for capital. So now it's going to be about how can Joe Douglas shape this team into a win-now team, because now he's ripping it down. He's on his way of building it up. So how is Joe Douglas going to be able to build this team to become a sustainable winner by going out there making an aggressive trades? We've seen Joe Douglas trade for picks. Can he trade for players? We haven't seen him do that yet. So I'm really excited to see the future of this team. The offseason is going to be huge. But to finish off the stream, I want to talk about the game coming up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Hopefully Elijah Moore will be back because he's eligible to come off the IR. I know that he is on the COVID list, which sucks. So hopefully that he can be back and ready to go. So Jack, I'll pivot it to you. What do you want to see from this Jets team against the defending Super Bowl champions and Tom Brady? Whether that's the offense having a good game. Obviously, I think we can all agree that the defense is going to get picked apart from Tom Brady. So what do you want to see from this matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to show progress for the rest of the season?
Just making a conscious effort to limit the mistakes that have been plaguing us all year. Obviously, as you said, Tom Brady is going to find a way to pick us apart just because he's Tom Brady. And I also, envision our defensive front having a real hard time with the Bucs offensive line because they're rock solid. So it might be a tough day for our defense, but, as long as we don't get blatantly beat by what's been beating us all year, I'm so tired of, watching every tight end in football just eat on us and, the screen game just absolutely destroy us week in and week out. So, I know the season's coming to a close now, so what does it really matter? But, I think that the same things have been kicking us in the ass all year, and it just seems like we can't, fix them. Obviously an issue with that is the constant revolving door of players that we have out there starting on the defense, between COVID now and all the injuries that we've dealt with before this big COVID outbreak that, happened again, obviously. But I think the defense is definitely in for a rough day, but as long as they, show some sort of improvement on the back of a win, man. It's the last game of the year at MetLife Stadium. Can we make it happen? Stranger things have happened this year, man. We beat 2 playoff teams in the Titans and the Bengals already. So, we know what it's like to play Tom Brady. It's not like we're unfamiliar with playing Tom Brady. So anything can happen. But yeah, it's more than likely going to be a rough day. Now, on the offensive side, real quick, I just want to see improvement from Zach Wilson, man. I want to see him continue to be smart with the football. I think the complete turnaround in the interception numbers is probably, the best thing about Zach's, improvement over the last couple of weeks for sure. So I just want to see Zach continue to be smart with the football. I like where Mike LaFleur seems to have gotten himself as an OC. I think that he's found his confidence. I think that he's found his stride a little bit. It obviously took him a while, but, I'm confident in the play calling now, which is, something we haven't had in a good 2.5 years. Right. So I want to see continued improvement from this offense as we wrap the season up. And if we can get Elijah Moore back out there, then that's phenomenal, man, because we really have seen what Elijah Moore has become to this offense in his absence over the past few weeks, because the wide receivers just haven't really been able to generate much of anything at all for us. So it's good. It's going to be good to hopefully get Elijah back out there.
I agree. We need Elijah Moore back out there so bad. I think that's a big reason why Zach is not playing well through the air. And you can say excuses this, excuses that, but the reality is he doesn't have his top 3 receivers. Jeff Smith dropping passes. Denzel Mims is non-existent. And, there's nobody that's getting open for him down the field. So if Elijah Moore comes back, we might see Zach Wilson finally get some good yardage through the air. So, Green Bean, what's your thoughts about this game coming up against Tom Brady? What do the Jets need to do to pull off the upset against this super house of a team?
It's the lock of the week for the Jets to beat and cover the spread this week against the hapless Buccaneers. Look, I think I would love nothing more than to win out. I would love it. A lot of, look, I'm traditionally a tank guy. I love the high draft picks. If we could somehow figure out the miracle of ending this season with Zach Wilson and company beating these teams, I think that would be absolute best case scenario. Is it happening? No, it's not. I'm going to root for it. I'm going to have a good time. I know what I'm watching. I know what I'm hoping to see. I know what to expect. I'm not going to be devastated if we lose. I'm not going to be overly dramatically happy if we win. We're looking for progress, and I want to see it. That said, this was the last chance, in my opinion, for this team to really put anything together, and we did. So I'm happy about it. I think we end the season with 4 wins, and we should be happy about it because, like we said earlier, we've now doubled our win total from last year, and that is how you climb out of the dark. People expect to go from the number 2 overall pick to the playoffs. It's a crazy thing. We got to slow and steadily climb out of the dark, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm excited no matter what happens.
Very well put. Very well put. The Jets will be versing Tom Brady. Stay tuned on this channel to give you guys my preview and all that stuff. It's going to be a wild game. I don't even know what to expect. Defensively, I expect nothing good, to be honest. Offensively, let's hope Zach Wilson can protect the football and use his legs more because I want to see that again. And hopefully Elijah Moore is there so we can actually have a receiver that can get open and catch the football for him. That'll be great to see. So I'm hoping for a competitive game that goes all the way to the fourth quarter. If we win, awesome. If we lose, not a big deal. We're versing Tom Brady. So, yeah, that's really going to wrap up today's stream on Jets Media. We appreciate all the support in the chat. We appreciate Green Bean and Jack coming through and giving your opinions on the New York Jets. It's Victory Monday. Soak it in. I know that some people rather lose for the tank and get a better draft pick, but, hey, it's out of your control. Why pout when you can say this Jets young core is winning now and they're building winning habits and everything feels like, it's happy vibes. They win for their coach who's out in protocol, and hopefully we can get Elijah Moore back and, finish off the season strong. Because, guys, all of a sudden, there's no more Jets football to watch after these 2 games.
Yeah,
yes,
right?
It does. Some people are like, well, good. The Jets suck. I don't want to watch them. Well, hey, I love watching the Jets, and now all of a sudden it's going to be the offseason, and we're going to be like, wow, we're not going to watch Jets football all the way to September? Like, that's going to be a long time, and we're going to have to go through the whole offseason, which I love, but at the same time, it's like we had to go through the entire offseason, which is, like, kind of long. So, hey, soak it in, appreciate these last 2 games for the Jets, and let's hope that we can, get to Tom Brady, get to Josh Allen. And my goal for the last game of the season, it doesn't really look like it's likely because of that Buffalo Bills win yesterday, but I was hopeful that the Bills needed to beat the Jets in that last week to make the playoffs. And if you guys remember 2015, when the Jets went to Buffalo with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we needed to beat the Bills in order to make it to the playoffs, and we lost. I wanted to do that to the Bills, give them payback where it doesn't mean anything to us, but we go to the Buffalo, and all the Bills need to do is win, and they're in. If they lose, they're out. And it's not happening because the Bills won, and they're back in the first place of the division. But it doesn't matter. So, guys, we appreciate all the support. Green Bean, anything you want to say before we end off the stream?
Well, today is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, so I want to thank everybody. We've had just an amazing year. We're having the contest on my channel. I'm giving away T-shirts and a Manscaped pack. All you got to do is subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my second channel, Full-Time Coaster Tour, and you are automatically entered, and that'll be awesome. But again, thanks. It's been great getting to know everybody, getting to know guys like you two, and everybody in the chat. It's just the best, man. So thanks for an awesome first year on YouTube, everybody.
Awesome. Everyone, make sure you subscribe to Green Bean, and we always appreciate you being on the channel, man. And
yeah,
Jack,
man,
anything you like to say before we end off the stream?
Green Bean, my friend, it's always a pleasure getting to chat Jets with you, and congratulations on your all your YouTube success over the past year. Very well deserved, of course. You are one of my favorite voices in this little Jets community that we have. So always a pleasure to get to hang out with you. And nice. Richie, my brother, thank you for making it all happen. And hopefully next time I'll be back in my normal setup after all this COVID craziness is hopefully in the past. But Victory Monday, baby. So let's keep soaking it in. Everybody enjoy your night. Enjoy football tonight. And let's just, end this live stream on a high note, man. Victory Monday.
Sir. End the live stream on a high note. On. Smash that thumbs up button if you're not already. We're on a path to 10,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to subscribe to the channel and help me get to that crazy milestone, hit that sub button for your boy. We are very, very close to 10K subscribers. I'm going to be doing the giveaway when that happens. So stay tuned for details on that. We appreciate all the support on Jets Media. The Jets got a dub, and it feels good. All right, guys, let's go Jets. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.